Prime Minister Narendra Modi visits COVID-19 vaccine facilities in Ahmedabad and Hyderabad, reviews vaccine development and manufacturing process, congratulates the scientists for their progress in the trial so far. PM reaches Pune to visit Serum Institute of India in Pune. India continues its progress on COVID-19 fight. Active cases remain below 5 lakh. Active caseload remains below 5%. National recovery rate stands at 93.68%. Jammu and Kashmir witnesses the first election after Article 370 abrogation and reorganization. First phase of Maiden District Development Council polls held for 43 seats. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval on two-day visit to Sri Lanka represents India at Trilateral Meet on Maritime and Security Cooperation among India, Sri Lanka and Maldives in Colombo. And in sports, India to face Australia in the must-win second ODI tomorrow in Sydney. The visitors trailed the three-match series 1-0 after losing the first match by 66 runs in a high-scoring encounter at the SCG. Namaskar, I'm Abhishek. Let's start with our top story. India is a forerunner in the search for COVID-19 vaccine, with ICMR, NIV and Bharat Biotech indigenously developing Covaxin and several other firms as well as institutes entering into tie-ups with global vaccine developers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is personally reviewing the vaccine development and manufacturing process. In the series, he is visiting 3 cities today. He visited the Bharat Biotech facility in Genome Valley in Hyderabad. He was briefed about their indigenous COVID-19 vaccine at the Bharat Biotech facility in Hyderabad. Prime Minister congratulated the scientists for their progress in the trials so far. So, Bharat Biotech is developing COVID-19 vaccine Covaxin in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research. Phase 3 clinical trials of the vaccine candidate had commenced recently. Prime Minister greeted people before leaving from Bharat Biotech facility in Hyderabad. And Prime Minister congratulated the scientists for progress in trials. PM in a tweet said, and I quote, "At the Bharat Biotech facility in Hyderabad was briefed about their indigenous COVID-19 vaccine. Congratulated the scientists for their progress in the trial so far. The team is closely working with ICMR to facilitate speedy progress." So, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reached Pune, the Serum Institute, where he is visiting, like we said, Serum Institute of India. So, these are the shots that we are showing you that came in a while back. He visited first at the Zydus Biotech Park in Ahmedabad, and then in Hyderabad in the afternoon he reached. So, PM visited the Zydus vaccine facility from inside, including inspection of the labs of the company. He also worn the PPE kit and he visited the manufacturing plants too. And now this is the last city visit of the day. He had visited Ahmedabad in the morning and then Hyderabad and now in Pune. So, to give us more information on this, our correspondent Yogesh Sheetal is joining us from Pune. Yogesh, PM Modi visited the Zydus Biotech Park in Ahmedabad and then in Hyderabad I should say, and now he has visited Pune, the last destination for today.
You're right. You can see the chopper is already here, and at any point in time he'll be landing here in Serum Institute of India. This is the third leg of his one-day visit in Pune. We know that this is very important visit of Prime Minister in the time of COVID-19 because he himself is coming to review the situation, to understand the developments that are underway at different, at all the three firms, and Prime Minister has in fact reached here. You can see chopper has landed here, and there are 3 events in Serum Institute. The first he'll hold meeting with the officials and also scientists of this firm, and later on he'll be also visiting the entire plant to understand the situations, the developments, and also review the preparedness of the vaccine. What are the steps under which the trial would be conducted, because we know that there are 7 firms which have been authorized by the Central Drug Board Standard Authority to analyze and to manufacture this COVID-19 vaccine. And the Covidshield basically which is developed by Serum Institute with the tie-up with Oxford University and also with the AJ Oxford University and AJ Pharmaceuticals. So the overall developments will be reviewed by the Prime Minister of India, and this is definitely very important day for the fight against COVID-19, which India and across world is fighting with COVID-19 at this point in time. So Prime Minister landed here, and we can expect that after a few minutes the entire event should be started. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Yogesh, also Prime Minister Narendra Modi is personally reviewing the vaccine development and the manufacturing process too, like we saw in Ahmedabad and Hyderabad. Also, he had visited Zydus Biotech Park in Ahmedabad and Bharat Biotech in Hyderabad, and now in any time as we speak he will visit, his chopper has almost landed, and he will visit the Serum Institute in Pune. And Yogesh, it is very heartening to see that the Prime Minister himself personally reviewing the vaccine development and the manufacturing process, and he also congratulated the scientists for their progress. It must have given them the great confidence.
That's right. Since the day one, we have been seeing that how Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi has been trying to convince people to maintain social distancing, to follow all the instructions, all the guidelines that have been laid out by different governments as well as the agencies to ensure that people don't get affected by this COVID-19 virus. Also, we had seen that how central government and also state governments, they are working to ensure that the minimum loss could be done, because we know that a lot of lives have been taken by COVID-19, and Prime Minister since the day one has himself involved in all the developments, and he has now he is taking the first-hand review meeting, first-hand experience, first-hand he will understand all the procedures, because recently we had also seen that Prime Minister held number of meetings with all the chief ministers of different states to understand that what would be the process of manufacturing, what would be the process of distribution, what would be the process of administrating entire things. So there are number of challenges. We know that India is a very diverse country, very big country. The temperatures are different, the climates are different, the geographical things are different. So in those circumstances, how to handle these things, and when the COVID vaccine, which is currently phase 2 and phase 3 trials are underway at different locations. So at this point in time, when the vaccine would be ready, then what would be the most convenient way to serve the people, serve the common people who have been fighting COVID-19 since the day one. So this is in fact very important day. I have already told you this is very important day, because Prime Minister himself is taking the review meetings and all the developments, preparedness to fight against COVID-19.
Right, Yogesh, keep tracking the developments. We'll take updates from you. Thank you so much. Well, moving on to our next story. Earlier in the day, like we told you, PM Modi visited the Zydus Biotech Park in Ahmedabad. Indigenously DNA-based vaccine being developed by Zydus Cadila, Zycov-D, has completed phase 2 clinical trial in the country. During the visit to Zydus facility, PM Modi was welcomed by young children, after which he held discussions with company officials. The discussion at the facilities was aimed at helping Prime Minister to get a first-hand perspective of the preparations, challenges, and also the roadmap in India's endeavour to vaccinate its citizens. So, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, wearing PPE kit, also visited the Zydus vaccine facility from inside, including inspection of the labs of the company. Later in a tweet, he complimented the team behind this effort for their work. He assured that the government is actively working with them to support them in this journey. And later, PM Modi acknowledged greetings from the people on the way back to the airport. He got down from his car and waved at the people. In another development, the Russian Direct Investment Fund and Hetero, one of India's leading generic pharmaceutical companies, through its biologics arm, Hetero Biopharma, have agreed to produce in India over 100 million doses per year of the world's first registered vaccine against the novel coronavirus infection, Sputnik 5. President Vladimir Putin had announced a tie-up with India for the production of Sputnik 5 at the Riyadh G20 summit. And India continues its trend of the daily new recoveries and continuous decline in the average daily cases. Yesterday, 41,452 recoveries were recorded, taking the cumulative total of recovered patients to 87,59,969. And with this, the recovery rate currently stands at 93.68%. India's three-pronged strategy of test, trace and treat is proving to be a great success. And the fatality rate has dropped to 1.46%, with 1,36,200 deaths recorded so far. And the number of active COVID-19 cases in India stands at 4,54,940, which is 4.87% of the total cases reported so far. And BJP has intensified its campaign for civic polls in Hyderabad. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath held a massive road show in Malkajgiri in Hyderabad for city civic polls. The poll is slated to be held on December 1st. Right, to give us more information on this, Surekha joins us live. Surekha, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath visiting Hyderabad and taking up the responsibility of campaigning for BJP for the upcoming Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation polls.
Yes, Abhishek. Intense campaigning, like you said, has been going on for the GHMC elections in Hyderabad. The central ministers, beginning Prakash Javadekar, INB Minister, and Smriti Irani, Minister Smriti Irani, and followed by Tejasvi Surya, and now JP Nadda, National President JP Nadda, and now it comes to Yogi Adityanath, the UPCM, campaigning in Malkajgiri constituency. I can see massive crowds following the rally. And BJP has left no stone unturned in campaigning in the GHMC elections. Earlier in the last elections, 99 seats were with TRS, but now TRS seems to have formidable opponent in BJP. The way campaign, if we go by the campaign that's going on right now. So the vote percentage was recorded in 2019 at only 41.22%. The voting is kind of always not a great percentage in Hyderabad, because people in Hyderabad have always kept it down to 41 in GHMC elections. But this time it seems that the voting percentage will definitely go up going by the campaign. TRS has also not left any stone unturned in campaigning, and TRS too, but there have been no heavyweights, so to speak, in TRS campaign. Abhishek.
Right, and also Surekha, is Yogi Adityanath expected to address a public meeting also?
Abhishek is addressing public meeting in the Old City at 7 p.m. today, and also it coincides with the public address, public meeting that CM KCR is holding today in Lal Bahadur Stadium in Abbots. And these two are biggies today. And one happens, KCR, CM's public address goes first, and then followed by UPCM Yogi Adityanath in the Old City. Right. The whole Hyderabad is looking forward to it, and Hyderabad is absolutely looks festive with the campaigning, if we can use that word, Abhishek.
Right. Thank you, Surekha. Thank you for giving us those updates. And the voting will be held, like Surekha said, in 150 wards on December 1st in the GH MC polls. Moving on to our next story, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, polling for the first phase of District Development Council elections was held amid tight security arrangements. Polling, which started at 7 a.m. ended at 2 p.m. People in large numbers were seen outside polling stations as precautions are being taken in view of COVID-19 pandemic. All necessary arrangements were put in place by the administration for peaceful and smooth conduct of DDC elections, which were held for the first time in the history of Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory. In the first phase of the DDC elections, polling was held for 43 constituencies, out of which 25 are in Kashmir and 18 in Jammu. Counting will take place on December 22nd after voting in all 8 phases complete. For the first time in these elections, refugees from Pakistan, Valmiki community and Gurkhas have also got the right to vote. And the trilateral meeting between India, Sri Lanka and the Maldives on maritime and security cooperation is being held in Colombo. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, who is on a 2-day visit to Sri Lanka, is attending the trilateral meeting. Earlier, such meetings were held in 2011 in Maldives and in 2013 in Sri Lanka and 2014 in India. Yesterday, Ajit Doval called on PM Mahinda Rajapaksa and recalled the contribution of the successful virtual bilateral summit between the two leaders to progress in bilateral cooperation. The NSA-level trilateral meeting has served as an effective platform for cooperation among Indian Ocean countries. The meeting will provide an opportunity for discussion on issues pertaining to cooperation in maritime security in the Indian Ocean region. On the sidelines of the trilateral meeting, NSA is also expected to have other high-level bilateral engagements. Moving ahead, President Ramnath Kovind witnessed the ceremonial changeover of the Army Guard Battalion at Rashtrapati Bhavan today. The 5th Battalion of the 1st Gorkha Rifles, on completion of its 3.5 years tenure as ceremonial Army Guard Battalion, handed over the charge to the 6th Battalion of the Sikh Regiment. The President will also interact with the outgoing battalion, the 5th Battalion of the 1st Gorkha Rifles. The Army Guard Battalion performed ceremonial duties at various important events such as Guard of Honours to the dignitaries, Republic Day Parade, Independence Day Parade, beating the retreat ceremony, apart from performing ceremonial guard duties at Rashtrapati Bhavan. In Kerala, passing out parade at Ezimala Naval Academy was held at Kannur. Army Chief General M.M. Narvane reviewed the passing out parade. Midshipmen trainees of 99th INA Corps and cadets of 30th Naval Orientation Corps passed out as officers on successful completion of their training. Out of the 164 cadets passed out today, 2 trainees were from Sri Lankan Navy. This year, the parade was held without the presence of parents and guests of trainees, considering the COVID-19 situation. While addressing the cadets, Chief of Army Staff General M.M. Narvane said that our Army is capable of facing any kind of threats or challenges from inside the country or from neighbouring countries. The Army Chief asked the cadets to be well equipped with knowing and getting trained in modern technologies to meet today's challenges. And India generates tons of thermocol and plastic waste every day. What if these can be successfully converted to products to be used in our day-to-day life? Dr. Shantanu Bhaumik from Coimbator's Amrit Vishwa Vidyapeeth has patented technology to reuse thermocol and plastic waste. Has more in this report.
In a country like India, plastic waste is a growing concern. According to the Central Pollution Control Board in India, 60 major Indian cities produce combined 25,940 tons of plastic waste every day. Although 60% is recycled, the rest stays on land as litter or slowly makes its way into our waterways. In order to fight this menace, Dr. Shantanu Bhaumik, professor at the School of Engineering in Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeeth in Coimbatore, has found a novel solution: creating products made from non-recyclable plastic and thermocol that could also solve the problem of affordable housing for millions of Indians.
From the thermocol waste, we have successfully converted this to these products, and you can see it's so flexible, and this product would be in automotive parts, even the bumpers of the car can be successfully made, and a new company is forming on this technology in Baroda. Then I like to store this Tetra Pak. You can see that we just drink the Maja mango or even the Kevin milk, or even we just drink the lassi and we throw this Tetra Pak out. And from this Tetra Pak, we successfully made this fibers. The fibers you can see so smooth like cotton kind of thing. So you can make the sofa cushion, then the pillow, then the blanket, and also we can make also the warm jackets.
Dr. Bhumik said that thin single-use plastic bags or low-density polythene have a useful life of just half an hour perhaps. If collected, these bags can be used to make roof tiles and footpath tiles blocks that can take a load of 15 tons compression that a truck generates. They last about 50 to 60 years, and after their useful life of 50 years, they can be reprocessed to make useful products again. Multi-layer plastics can be used to make tabletops and is in use in the manufacturing of furniture parts in Coimbatore.
We entered the construction domain by making roof tiles out of waste plastics and also the pavement tiles out of waste plastic. This pavement tile is just 300 grams, but it can stand up to 10 to 15 tons of load.
We also have two other products in the portfolio. This is slabs and roof sheets made from MLP waste. This slab is corrosion resistant, termite resistant, and it is not prone to moisture. It is an alternative for plywood, thus it has greater life.
Another bulky waste, thermocol, which is currently being thrown away right after use and is not being recycled. Dr. Bhumik has patented a technology that uses thermocol to make molded automotive parts such as bumpers, edging of windscreens and car windows. He has shared the technology with a company in Vadodara which has started manufacturing automotive parts using this technology. This is truly a case of Atmanirbhar Bharat, which uses Make in India product for a green and clean India. Taposh Bhattacharya's report, DD India.
In Somalia, a suicide bomber blew himself up at an ice cream parlor in the capital Mogadishu on Friday, killing 6 people. It was not immediately clear who was responsible for the blast, but the Islamist insurgent group Al-Shabaab frequently carries out bombings in the capital and elsewhere. Information Ministry spokesman Ismail Mukhtar Omar said 8 other people were also wounded in the attack. Iran's supreme leader demanded the capture and punishment of the people responsible for the assassination of the country's top nuclear scientist, who the West and Israel believed was the architect of a secret Iranian program to make weapons. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who says Tehran has never sought nuclear arms, also pledged in his statement on Twitter to continue the work of Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, who died on Friday after gunmen ambushed him in his car near Tehran. The killing, which Iran's president was swift to blame on Israel, threatens to spark a new Middle East confrontation in the final weeks of US President Donald Trump's term. Describing Fakhrizadeh as a martyr, Khamenei said in his Twitter post that Iranian officials must take up the task of pursuing and punishing the perpetrators of this crime. Well, that's all we have in this news bulletin. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.